This is Shooting Spaces with Rich Baum and Brian Berkowitz.
Hello and welcome to Shooting Spaces. Brian Berkowitz here from New York City with my friend.
And Rich Baum. Sorry to cut you off, but Rich Baum from Sacramento, California, wishing everybody a great holiday season and hope that everything's going great. So what
cool.
we got going on today, Brian?
From the looks of it, you're back in the States. Is that correct? From the looks of your background.
We can't. Where is Rich, man? It's like, where's Waldo, dude? No, I can't talk about my, it's like secret covert operations. So anyway, but I've got my background. So this could be a virtual background. You never know.
That's true. We got to start putting all different Caribbean things and people will just assume you're in Mexico.
Great. So what's new? What's exciting? What's going on?
Nothing. Our course has been out for a couple of weeks now. We're doing really well with it. We're getting a lot of positive feedback, which is great. And we'll talk a little bit about it later. We don't want to get too much into depth. This is not a promo for the course, but that's been going on. And, we started the new season. So it's been exciting. It's been good to get back to the podcast. It's been a while and we've been so busy with all the other stuff. It's good to get back to our true calling, if you want to call it that.
The thing that we love. I always wondered what my true calling was. I never thought it would be Shooting Spaces, but I'll go with it for now. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Great. Well, let me start out by saying one of our sponsors is HD Photo Hub. Provide your clients with the convenience of online ordering and scheduling with HD Photo Hub's new smart scheduling system built specifically for real estate photography business. With HD Photo Hub, you'll save precious admin time with an all-in-one system to deliver your images, videos, 3D scans, and property marketing kits, along with built-in client invoicing, order management, photography, payroll, and so much more. Check out hdphotohub.com to find out more.
Awesome. And thank you to HD Photo Hub. They're good friends of ours and they've been around for years with us. So Herb at HD Photo Hub is an awesome guy. But let's get into it. We have a fun discussion today. And Rich, why don't you introduce our guest since, I know her for a long time, but you know her for even longer.
So when the internet started, we didn't really have Facebook, and we had a group called Flickr. And that was, I forget what it was. Brian, do you remember, was it Google or
Yahoo?
What was Flickr? Yahoo. And they have these groups, and this was way before Facebook. And we had a group called PFRE, and it was where all the photographers, and these are the big names in the company, in the industry, that would get together and put out images and tell you all about how they made these images. And one of the first people I met back in the day was Cynthia James, or I like to call her Cindy. But Cynthia James is on our show today, and she is an old timer that has been regarding this whole industry. You've been with us so many years. So Cynthia, how long have you been doing this, and how did you get started into it? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi, I'm Cynthia James. I've been a real estate photographer now for about 7 years. I found the Flickr group and through PFRE. And back in the day, the PFRE website was a lot of really good banter. People would put a lot of interesting information in there. You could ask Larry tons of questions. It was wonderful. So I loved it. And
what year was that? I'm trying to think. It was probably 2009. 2008?
Yeah. I mean, not that long for me, about 7 years. So whatever, this is, about 7 years ago.
Yeah, but I think the Flickr group was pretty active, I think, up until about maybe 2015 or 16, if I'm not mistaken, once Facebook groups really just sort of took over. So,
yeah, I mean, anything I learned about composition and photos was in the Flickr group. There is no place else to learn.
Mm-hmm. And we were learning from people like Tony Colangelo, Scott Hargis, Mike Kelly. Everybody was chiming in the groups, and that's gone away to some extent. But the best part about it was the rules were you could only post 2 photos, and every photo had to have a description. So you could see a photographer that you really liked, and you could learn all about how they put these photos together. And it was a really wonderful learning process.
it was a good tool back then. I liked it.
Mhm.
It helped. But plus, I mean, the old PFRE.net website, so much information. You can ask questions daily. I mean, that's where I found information. What tripod? What lens do I use? Flash? What the heck is flash? You know, all these type of things. Back in the day, I did HDR. And HDR I did with Photomatics. And learned so much from
I've
PFRE.
been there. That's how I started. Photomatics.
Don't make us share our old images.
I've shared them before. My first shoot my first shoot ever was not real estate. It was actually an interior design shoot, and I did HDR with Photomatics, and they loved them.
Yet it was better than my first shoot.
I don't know about that.
I don't think
I walked through the frame in my first shoot and didn't realize it, and then put it through Photomatics, and you just had me ghosting in the shot on the side, and I delivered it because I didn't know any better. Nevertheless. So Cindy, let's talk about where you're from and how you got started in this.
From Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh.
So I went to Ohio State. College was not for me. I did take a lot of art lessons at the Cleveland Art Museum. So I did spend a lot of time in classical drawing and illustrating. I went to college for civil engineering and did not like that. So I joined the military. So I went into the Army during the Private Benjamin times. I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I went to San Francisco to the Presidio. It was wonderful. Spent time at Fort Bliss, spent time at Fort Bragg. After I got to Fort Bragg, decided to go work for the airline industry. So I have 13 years with American Airlines. I've done everything with American Airlines from airport, reservations, city ticket office, government affairs. And after 9/11, things changed a lot. So a friend of mine who used to work in new home sales said, hey, why don't you go temp for new home sales? So I attempted for new home sales for Toll Brothers, which is a large builder out of Pennsylvania, but they're national. They do build in several states. And I became a sales manager at Toll. So I enjoyed new home sales. I went from Toll to Beazer to K. Hovnanian Homes, but working weekends and not selling on weekends or just sitting there bored. I picked up a camera, and my old marketing director at Beazer said, get this camera. I'll teach you how to use this camera. So I first started learning how to just use a camera on manual. Then I hired a photographer out of the Fredericksburg area to show me how do I do this real estate photography. Show me how do I make this machine do what I see in my mind. And so from there, I learned HDR. And then from there, I'm doing what I do today. After I've gone to several workshops, took a lot of online classes, had some training with Tony Colangelo, the whole 9 yards. I now have a team there's 3 of us now. I've had several people always working with me. I do have an FAA drone pilot, and I do have 2 backup photographers. So I try to handle the bulk of the work, but I do have all my backup folks that help out. So that's where I am today.
Awesome. So you're based out of Fredericksburg, Virginia now. Is that correct?
Well, I'm in Stafford, but I do cover all the way up to the DC line. So I do all of Northern Virginia, all the way down to Middle Virginia. I do about 45,000 miles a year on my car. So we go everywhere.
Wow. Yeah, it's nice out there. I mean, I was in Fredericksburg for my first time last year, as you remember, and yes. we met up for dinner. It was nice, small little town. I was there right in the middle, right when all the Black Lives Matter protests were going on, and I was trying to shoot this. I was doing a shoot. Rich, you don't know the story. I was doing a shoot for Rolex, and Fredericksburg is like a small little town, and I was shooting this jewelry store for Rolex, and there was a Black Lives Matter protest going on outside the store, and I could only shoot the store on like one angle because every other angle you would see out the window and see dozens and dozens of people protesting. So it was a fun day to be in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
So let me ask you, did the client understand that? Rolex understand that?
I mean, they didn't ask me otherwise, so I guess I faked it enough where they didn't know the difference. Oh
God!
But
what we put up with. Well, that's great. And Cindy, you were in Vegas recently for the PFRE conference. Mm-hmm. How did that go? Did you have a great time?
Cindy was on the panel.
Nice. I got to be on the women's panel, so that was nice.
Tell us a little bit about it. I mean, your experience and your camaraderie with everybody else and everything else.
Well, what's funny is Rachel comes from Fredericksburg. So I know Rachel locally here. I'm the one that actually introduced her to Brandon for her first year.
Mm-hmm. And
'Cause I thought,
remind everybody who is Rachel.
Rachel Brinke, she's a law tog.
Mhm.
So she's local here in Fredericksburg, Stafford area. The women's panel was great. It was really nice to have all of us up there this year, just giving our perspective as to how we do this. And what's funny is we did talk a lot about security. And what's nice is I just recently showed up on Monday. I have a thing from ADT that the senior citizens use, the life alert thing that the senior citizens use. But they
When
have
you fall and you can't get up.
Yes, but they have another thing that you can carry. I attach it to my tripod so that if I'm somewhere and something happens or something's going on, I can click the button and the police will come. So it's a good safety feature to have.
You could be a spokesman for them. I think there's an untapped resource for you. That's great.
Well, I mean, they actually told me that a lot of realtors use this. So it just it's not just used for seniors. Realtors use it, especially female realtors who are out showing properties. So it's a good safety feature.
Good.
Interesting.
And who else was on the panel besides Rachel?
Natalia. So of the Grove.
A friend of the show.
From California.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's been on before.
Tacey. So everybody knows Tacey from Washington State. She's the pro at, she does the best iPhone videos out there. She's great at it. And then the gal next to me, now I forget her name.
Lauren?
Yes.
Yes. Lauren was just on the show with us.
Yeah, with her fiance, right?
Yep.
So it was nice meeting her. She's a good kid. I like her.
Awesome. I think all the women on the panel have been on the show. So
good. You've had Rachel.
We've had Rachel on the show also.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's fun.
What a character.
Yeah,
what a mother of 5, right?
Yeah, she's a trooper.
Yeah. She's a force.
Yes, she is.
You had a good time, Cindy, at the party. You won a little raffle prize.
I did. So here's the little backstory. So we were standing on the one side of the stage, and everybody in our area was winning prizes. So the lady who won the iPhone was in our crowd.
Jackie,
the lady
right?
who won. Yep, the lady who won the think tank.
Yeah, we gave away the think tank also. That was the Shooting Spaces. That was Linda was with you, right?
Yep, she was right there with our group. And then a friend of mine from the Washington area, Mario. I looked at Mario and I said, "Oh, Brian's course is coming up. I want to win Brian's course." And so when you called my name, Mario looked at me. He's like, "Oh my God, you won the course you wanted."
You willed it.
I did.
Well, it's funny because when you came up, that was the first thing you said. You said, "I just told Mario 2 minutes ago that I want to win that course." And I don't want people to think there was any insight because I didn't pick the name out of the hat.
No,
that was
Brandon's wife.
Yeah, that was Brandon's wife. So I had nothing to do with that. But awesome. So I'm glad you got to win that though. And take a look.
It took me a couple nights. Very thorough course. It's not for a novice. So you have to understand real estate photography in order to understand what Brian is teaching. But everything in the course just it blew my mind. I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I needed. So
all right.
It's a good course.
I want to hear you tell me about the commercial you start doing. Look, it's easy workflow, easy money, and a lot more money. So
it is, but I'm gonna have to go further north though to get the type of work. Because in my area, there's Fredericksburg, Stafford, Northern Virginia. I'll have to go further up north, like Tyson's Corner, and closer to the DC line in order to get more of that type of work. Because that's where all the buildings are.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But there is opportunity in commercial real estate photography that I think a lot of people do not consider. And hopefully once watching Brian's video, you see that there are so many opportunities that are actually waiting for you. And it helps to have a background in real estate photography, but it's not like this technical thing where you've got to use lights and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. And you've got these huge spaces. It is very feasible to just start doing it. And you just got to get the clients and, go through the steps. And, it's a great opportunity for people learning to branch out to other ways of gaining revenue, that you might not think about. And hopefully that is what you felt, watching it.
I enjoyed it. Now I do. There's one thing I want to tell you guys, and I don't know if people do this in other areas. We have what is called the Washington Real Estate Photography, Architecture and Design Guild. And we have our own Facebook group in our area. And all of us that belong to the group, we are all independent photographers. None of us work for any big box stores that we have a lot of in this DC area. Mm-hmm. So Jen Vivier is in our group, Mario, Nima, and there's a whole bunch of us, Joel, we're all in this group together. And what we do is we either put out work that we can't get to and we see if somebody else can cover the work. We have questions about gear. We have somebody just posted up the other day that I didn't even realize that Imaging USA is going to be here at the National Harbor in January. I'm like, you're kidding me. This isn't our back door. So a lot of us signed up for an architecture class that Dan Francis is giving.
Yeah, I heard he was going out there. Yeah.
Yep. So Mario signed up. I signed up. John Wheeler signed up. A couple of us signed up for the class. So we keep ourselves, any type of information we can give to each other, any type of help we can give to each other is what we do. Yeah. It's a great group. So people should do it in their own cities.
Everybody should do that. You should not fear your competition. You should embrace the people in your area because you're all working sort of not against each other. You should be working towards each other, and there's plenty of work for everyone. But I am really good friends with the 5-6 major photographers in the Sacramento area, and we work together and have a really copacetic situation. And they're always helping me when I'm out of town or when I need help. And the other area is they're calling me and they're telling me, Rich, I need some help. I can't make this shoot. So that's what it's all about. It's all about not competition. It's all about communication. So
colleagues,
sounds like you've got that going on. What's that?
With our group, we actually, a lot of us will discuss, how's your business? Is it slow this week? Is it not slow this week? What new gear are you getting? Did you get the new iGuide? How many of us ordered the brand new iGuide? Because I have the original iGuide. So I have ordered the brand new iGuide with their Christmas special. Nice. We all talk about iGuide because most of us are on our guide.
Did the ease of use in my video convince you to go out and buy it?
I've had iGuide for, oh my goodness.
No, but I'm saying the new one. I'm saying.
Oh yes, no, I love the new one.
It's
the one on the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, that one, yeah. Yeah, Roomba 360.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's a funny story. I can tell you that story quickly if you want. I was in Boston on a shoot probably last fall, so a little over a year ago. And I went out to dinner with the area guys and we were drinking a little and we got to chatting and we were talking about how they always do these funny commercials at the conferences, like the first one, the shit real estate agents say was hilarious and everyone loved that. And so we, a couple of drinks in, we started talking about funny ideas and we came up with the Roomba gimbal, I think was the original idea. And this was right before the virtual conference last year. And I guess it was too soon that they couldn't make anything happen. And then Brannick from Aereo texted me, I think a few months ago or a few weeks ago, and was like, we're going to go with the Roomba 360 for a commercial this year. We need a testimonial from you. So I was like, all right, I'm in, whatever you want to do. So it was a fun time.
That's good. That's funny.
Cool. But while we're talking about iGuide, I'm just going to jump in because why not? Are you looking to expand your real estate photography business? Stand out from the crowd by offering 3D tours, accurate room measurements, square footage calculations, and professionally drafted floor plans, all from the click of a button with a state-of-the-art iGuide camera system. Get your first 5 standard iGuides up to 3,000 square feet free by adding code shooting spaces in the referral section at camera purchase. Visit goiguide.com to learn more. And with that, let's get back into it. So you were saying you use the iGuide, Cindy?
I do. I have the original iGuide, which I actually like, but it does take, because it's 3 rotations and 3 clicks, it takes more time. And my understanding from everybody in my area that has the brand new one, half the time.
Oh, it's
quick.
You
can pound through a 3,000 square foot house in no time.
Especially with residential. Residential is easy because you can kind of just sneak behind the next wall and you won't even see you. Commercial gets a little trickier because it's a bigger open space where you have to use their 2-part recording where you stand on one side, hit the button, go on around the other side, hit the button. But even so, it only takes an extra, 10 seconds each shot, but still it's quick. I mean, I did in my course, I did that. Yes. It was a 4,000 or 5,000 square foot space. And I think I did it in like 8 minutes, a ridiculous amount of time. So it's quick.
No, I like iGuide. And so do Mike. I have several clients that every single listing they do, they have to have iGuide. So that keeps me busy with iGuide. And iGuide for us as photographers, very good profit margins.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your business because we don't know much about it. I mean, you're out in the Virginia area, you said. I mean, are you more of like a volume shooter, a little bit more of a boutique shooter? Kind of where do you stand and how do you go about? Do you offer everything from photo to video to drone to iGuide? What's your model like?
So we do everything. So we do professional photos. We do walking video tours. I do have an FAA drone pilot. He's the best in the area. I'm not the only one that uses him. Several of our people in our group actually will hire my drone pilot to do drone work for them. We do iGuide, as you know. I have a few designers I work with, not huge designers, but up and coming designers. Like this morning, I did a master bath and a powder room. I have about 450 realtors. So we do over 2,500 houses a year.
Wow.
So we're busy.
But you have photographers I'm assuming you have photographers that shoot for you because there's no way you're doing 2,500 homes a year.
No, I do. I mean, I have both Doug and Aspen are my photographers. So I try to stick to 3 to 4 a day and they pick up everything else. And then they never work on Saturdays. I'm the only one that works on Saturdays. And then Sundays, none of us work. We need a day off.
And do they work for you solely? Or the independent contractors that go and do their own work at the same time?
Now, they're all 1099s, but I'm the one that gives them all the work.
Yeah.
I'm also a licensed realtor. So I've had my license for 16 years. It's on referral. So I don't actively do real estate, but I do refer to the team that I'm on. And I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Penn Fed. So we have a lot of offices in Northern Virginia. I have a lot of Century 21 agents. I have Keller Williams agents, Sampson, Exit, you name it. We cover everybody. And because I worked in new home sales for so many years, I have a lot of realtors I know through new home sales. Also being a realtor, I know a lot of realtors through being a realtor. So we have a pretty healthy business. I mean, this is the first year I actually hired a bookkeeper. I could not keep up with the bookkeeping end of it. So I do have a bookkeeper who actually knows real estate photography because he does work for another local real estate photographer in town. So he referred me to him and I'm happy. So that helps me a lot.
Well, let me ask you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. All our editing is done overseas. Mm-hmm. So my team, the only thing they edit is going to be exterior photos. They also have to do their own sky replacements. And then they have to pick out their 2 twilights. We offer as a bonus, a front and a back twilight, digital twilight for everybody.
Let me ask you, what did you go through with COVID? Not personally, but experiences with your business. Did you find it to be scary at first, thinking you're out of work like me? Or did you have faith that it would work out? And were you busier than ever? What went on in the last couple of years? We
were busier than ever. Super busy. I mean, I cannot believe I've been busy since COVID. It has not slowed down until literally right now. It's Christmas, so this is why it's slower. But I was wearing gloves, wearing masks, wiping down all my gear. What was kind of nice is the interstate, I-95 was empty. So since nobody was going back and forth into work, it was kind of nice. Yes, right. I can't stand those things. But no, we were super busy and we would ask people not to be at home. But a lot of times because people were homeschooling their kids, everybody was at home. And we just went with it. Now, there are some people in the Northern Virginia area, some of my colleagues in our group who did not work at all because they either had compromised children or compromised spouses. They were not working. But I suppose we picked up the slack and we were super busy.
And Brian, were you also as busy during that period of time?
Yeah. I mean, 2020 was my best year of business. I mean, my 2020 was better than my 2021, actually. Yeah. I mean, I was, as you know, I do mostly commercial now. So in New York City where offices were empty, people were trying to sublease, businesses were closing down left and right, which is unfortunate. Silver lining for me, who provides marketing for, things like this, it was nonstop. I've said this before. I think I shot like 1.2 million square foot of commercial real estate last year, just because businesses were closing down. They were trying to sublease spaces. People were trying to get out of their lease, all different reasons. So there was a lot of work out there. And, at the beginning, I was doing Matterport. Eventually, halfway into the year last year, I switched to iGuide. And there was just, since there was no in-person showings, just tons and tons of virtual tours, both across both platforms last year, Matterport and the iGuide. It was nonstop.
I can't even imagine how much money I made from my $1,000 Ricoh Z1. I haven't broke it yet. A couple of scratches, but it's still working. And it was something where none of my clients wanted 360 tours in the past, and they started using them, and now they continue to use them. So it's a really good opportunity to check out the iGuide camera and whatever 360 camera you're using. But it's still out there, and it's still, I don't know, are you still seeing as many people interested as they were during COVID? Well, we're still in COVID, but
I still see people wanting it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mind shift. It's just a whole thing from the community, just a shift of importance.
I mean, I'm doing less tours from a commercial perspective than I was. And a lot of my agents say now that they're doing in-person showings again, they want to meet with the people face to face. I guess it's a little bit different on a commercial because it's a little hard. It's more of a hard sell. You're trying to convince people to go in, especially in New York, and, over the course of a 5-year lease, potentially spend several $1 million. So it's a little bit of more of a hard sell. So they want to, the agents want to be face to face with the people, try to sell them, try to show them the space versus, a $500,000 or $1 million house. It's a little, I guess there's a lot more money involved. So there's more face to face. I don't know, but yeah, my virtual tour stuff or walkthrough tour stuff has slowed down significantly since last year, but some still do it. I did one this morning, so it's still there here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, are you guys doing any Zillow 360?
Personally, I do Zillow on any MLS because I can then edit it and make it my own, whatever I need. But and say hi to your husband.
Hi.
He's just grabbing a beer. He's grabbing a beer out of the fridge.
It's quite all right. You should come join us because it would be fun. But I think that the Zillow, it's kind of unfortunate to me because my clients some of my clients want to have Zillow be the platform that they're able to go on amongst other things, which I always post on Cloud Pano. But I think that it's really tough to work with the Zillow platform sometimes. And, it's nice to just do whatever you're doing, like just going straight to Cloud Pano for me. But a lot of people want to use the Zillow platform for one reason or another. They think that it's really important. What do you feel about that, Cindy? Do you feel that Zillow really is an important step for your clients to use?
The only reason that they like to use Zillow is Zillow boosts their listing for the first 10 days. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't like
Zillow
the product.
Boost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, from what I've heard, and I don't remember who told me this, maybe remember Rich, a few seasons ago, we interviewed, I forgot his name, but we interviewed one of the director of photography from Zillow, Daniel Mudge. Daniel Mudge. You remember, there we go. And I think it was him who said this, and I might be wrong. I have to go back and listen, that a trick based off what you just said, Cindy, is to sort of drip feed content to Zillow, and they keep giving you that boost over and over. So for instance, post your photos, wait a week or 10 days, post a video to get that boost again, wait a week or 10 days, post your virtual tour, add it to the listing. And you keep, getting that boost over and over again as you post more content to your listing.
I've never heard that. That's interesting.
But you've got to commit to filming the 360 on the Zillow platform. on the Zillow. Right. If you want to use Zillow at all, you've got to use Zillow to do it. So, and it's, it's just limits me to my abilities. Although they have now, you can adjust exposure and white balance, and you can do a little bit of editing in camera. But I can't edit the images in Lightroom after the fact and then post it to Zillow. You have to use Zillow from the very beginning, and it's just a little tough there.
No, I'll agree with you. I mean, I only have literally like 2 people who request Zillow, and I try to tell them that iGuide is such a better product. I don't like the Zillow product at all.
But it's all about it. It's not as so much about image quality, which there is a lot to be desired from the Zillow image quality, because it just has no ability to edit later, which really helps with dynamic range and things like that. But you've got to really, you've got to use it, and you're going with the ability for Zillow to do what they do. They're big in the industry, and they're big in people seeing your 360s. So that's kind of what it is all about, I guess.
Oh, I have a side note. This happened right after I got back from the PFRE conference in Vegas. There was a realtor in my office that was released from Berkshire Hathaway Penn Fed because she was sued for $50,000 by a photographer for stealing photos of community amenities for her listings.
I saw you posted that, and a lot of people shared it, which was great. I mean, great lesson learned, I guess, the hard way.
I mean, most realtors, being a realtor, knowing realtors, having friends that are realtors, my people, I tell them about it all the time. I explain to them, here's the rules of this is your usage of the photos. You cannot just click on something on Google and take it off and use it on your listing. So my folks do understand, but there's so many out there that have no idea. They don't have a clue. So, the realtors need to be educated on the correct protocol for copyright and licensing and usage of photos.
But I also feel like that's not even, obviously, it should be our job in a way to tell people what our terms are and what our rules are. But I feel
we do.
But I feel like that goes even further. I feel like when you're getting your real estate license, and I don't know, you can tell me, Cindy, because I don't have a real estate license. There should be lessons learned about that, when you're getting your license, so they know it from the get-go. And I don't know if that's something that's included or what, but
they cover it a little bit in ethics training, but you get ethics training only every 2 years. And a lot of people are taking their ethics training online. So they're just playing the recording, they're taking the test, and it goes in one ear and out the other.
And even initially when you get your license, I guess, I know you got your license, you said 16 years ago. So things might have been much different back then because the internet was just starting to come into its own at that point. But I'm assuming nowadays when you're taking your realtor test, there should be chapters on it. I don't know. Anybody that can shed some light into that, that's an agent, let me know. But I would hope there's some stuff in education in that regard.
There is, that's if they listen. And when you're a realtor, there's so much education credits you have to take every 2 years to renew your license. And so people are going to pick and choose what they want to learn. And that might be a class that is an optional class to take. And so they're going to choose not to take it. Now, I will tell you that one of the brokers, the large team that I'm on, my main broker on my team is actually teaching a class of 300 realtors in the Fredericksburg area in January. And during that meeting, she says, Cindy, I want you to be on the floor for at least 10 minutes explaining this to the realtors so they understand. And I said, yes, I'll be there, Vicki. I think it's very important for them to understand.
No, that's awesome. And so the photographer who shot them is suing the realtor itself, or suing the brokerage, or?
No, the realtor herself.
Yeah.
And so she was, you said, I think she was let go in turn, which I guess sort of makes sense from the broker standpoint. And because
I guess want to be affiliated with her.
Yeah. Or liable for that matter.
Yeah.
Good for her. Gosh, it really is a big deal. And how far do we want to push it? We've got the client we want to make happy, but do you want to come to them and go, you got to stop doing this. You got to do this. And it's a really tough call, So,
and it's no joke, and it's something that should be.
It is no joke.
Taken seriously, and shouldn't be ignored by photographers. I mean, I feel like a lot of photographers in our industry, especially newer ones that are up and coming, or photographers that transition from other genres like weddings, portraiture, where there's not as much focus on that type of stuff because it's not considered as commercial. Just say, hey, do what you want with the images. They're just sitting on my hard drive. I don't care. But they don't know. It happens, but they don't realize how much value there is on those images that are just sitting on your hard drive. And Adam proved that, Cindy, at PFRE. I mean, that presentation, he knocked it out of the park. How much value you all have just sitting on your hard drive at home and how much you can monetize with that. So, people don't take it lightly and, try to stop it where you can. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Cindy, I'm involved in a litigation for the last 8 months with a tile manufacturer who infringed on my image. And it's actually a pain in the ass, to be honest. It's not, it's more headache than anything else going through litigation. And at the end of the day, I'm probably going to tell you that it wasn't worth it. But at this point, it's just out of principle.
There's a guy in our area, Bradley, and I forget Bradley's last name, but he literally specializes in looking out for his photos big time because he deals with a lot of national builders around here. And so the national builders pay big bucks for the photos that he takes or people who shoot for him take. And then all of a sudden somebody else is just taking the community amenity photo or the model home photo and just using it wherever they want to use it. So we've got, besides Rachel, we have another really good lawyer here in the Charlottesville area, David Deal. And apparently this is his specialty. He used to be an architect and now he's a lawyer who specializes in photo copyright infringement.
Yeah, I know Kerry is also very big into that. We've had Kerry on the show a few times, and it's almost like an additional sort of income for him where he just, finds infringers. And I think part of it's like, hey, don't steal my photos, I'm going to get you type of attitude. And part of it's, hey, look, you know what? If people are stealing money from you, I want to get that money back. And, there's money to be made here. So go after them.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool stuff. So now that, I guess we're 2 years into COVID, as you mentioned, Rich, like what are your plans for your business going forward now? I mean, you do 2,500 homes a year. So I'm guessing you're not looking to scale up anymore unless you are and just keep hiring more photographers. But what are your goals now that we're winding down in 2021?
Want to bring on one more. Okay. So we'll bring on one more photographer. He's already kind of been with us. We invite him to dinners and stuff like that. We invite him to our group. We've trained one of the national builders here, Dries Homes, allows me to use their model for training.
Oh, nice.
So I just contact their sales manager and say, hey guys, can I have a model home for a couple of hours? And as long as we wear our masks, they'll let us use their model. So I'm going to bring one more on board. But I like sticking at the size I am. I don't want to be a big box place. I don't want to be training people and be a project manager. I like shooting myself.
Yeah, you were saying you still do 3 to 4 homes a day, which is pretty impressive in itself. So
it was fun. I enjoy it. Every house is a challenge.
I mean, I'd like to be with you to see how you enjoy 3 to 4 houses a day. Maybe it's different houses, different, you're not doing your own editing. So, it's just it's a tough one for me. I like 1 to 2 houses a day, but I know that's not realistic for a lot of people. So for me, if I did 1 or 2 a day, I'd be sitting at home twiddling my thumbs. So I enjoy I enjoy the challenge.
Well, your home is not in Mexico.
No, I'm in Northern Virginia. But the thing is, we do everything from waterfront houses to double wide trailers to condos to tiny condos to 10,000 square foot mega mansions. You name it, we do it. Yeah. So that's what makes it fun.
Shoot shacks next to chateaus and crap and all kinds of shit. I mean, one morning, it's never dull. I'll say that.
No, we've seen it all.
And I give the same amount of attention to detail with every listing. I can't help it.
I know, we do.
Well, that's a recipe for success right there. So we're running low on time, but I just want to bring up one last thing, Cindy, that I think you spoke about this at PFRE, which I think is pretty interesting to point out. And you spoke about how you make it your business every morning to post the previous day's shoots. And it's kind of like you said something along those lines, right? I don't know if it's exactly that. And I know, you post all the time on Facebook, you post all the time on Instagram, you have quite a following on Instagram. So let's talk a little bit about that, because obviously that plays a big role into your marketing. And I'm sure you get a ton of work through your social media because of the work you put into that. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because,
Sure.
out of our listeners, a majority of them are not at PFRE. So
I every morning after all the houses are done and delivered, I deliver through Pixie Set, and I actually use TourBuzz. I'm one of the people who still uses TourBuzz. I pick out 10 to 15 photos of each listing that I like. And I say presented by the realtor. I tag the realtor, I post all the pictures, and I say who shot the house. If it was me, I don't say I shot it. But my other team members, I will also tag them so that my realtors understand that this is the work they're doing. And if they are called to go to their house to shoot the house, they know what their work looks like and that their work is good work. At night is when I do all my Instagram postings. So everything that went up during the day on Facebook, every single listing, good listing, bad listing, doesn't matter what the listing is. We post every listing every single morning. At night, I'll pull those photos out from Facebook, and I'll do Insta stories with them. If they're not real pretty houses, so I'll do an Insta story of each house and tag the realtor if they're on Instagram. And then if they're a pretty house, I'll put those pictures in my regular posts on Instagram, and I'll tag the realtors or I won't. It just depends. So on Instagram, I'm just trying the pictures I have in Instagram on my posts are of the prettier houses that I do. The stories are of anything that we do. But you have to do it every day.
Yeah. So
yes, you do.
It seems like a lot of work, and it is a lot of work. And I'm sure the people that are listening to this are like, I don't have the time for that. But, the moral of the story is, I think, to look at the bigger picture, you do 2,500 homes a year. And if people have aspirations to not necessarily even shoot that many, but to build up their business where they're at the point where maybe they're doing 500 or 1,000 a year, you have to put in the work, and it takes time, and you have to sit down. And I'm sure it takes you at least an hour and a half to sit there. And
it's actually pretty fast.
Oh, really? It's not 10 homes a day. No, you didn't say 10 homes a day. You said 10 pictures of each home.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
but you must shoot around 10 homes a day, at least. Give or take.
I would say probably 6 to 8 during the very busy seasons. Right now we're like at 5.
Okay.
So right now it's a little bit slow, but it takes 30 days to make a habit stick. Mm-hmm. So every day when I'm doing my Facebook posts, it's about 10 minutes. I just do it as fast as I can. Sometimes Facebook will not let you post, and that you have to sign back out of Facebook. You have to kind of clear off your computer and go back in again. Those mornings drive me nuts. But when Facebook is working properly, they're up there in 10 minutes and off I go. Then I'm done.
I guess
I post to Facebook.
Yeah, I'll say you get a routine down, and you know how to do it smoothly and quick and move on.
Oh yeah. 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 Type it
well,
out.
I'm dealing with the change in Facebook. The groups changed 2 days ago on Tuesday. And I don't know what the changes are going to be, and how a couple of my groups started to look visually different than they were before. So I got to figure all that out. And it just puts a little cog in the wheel, little thing in the cog. So you can't just be fluid about what you're doing. You got to change. So anyway, well, great, man, Brian, what a great interview. Thank you, Cindy. Do you like Cynthia or Cindy?
No, it's because here's the story. I wanted CindyJamesPhotography.com. Somebody in Texas has it. I could not get that to be my website. So I had to do my formal name, which is Cynthia James Photography.
Cynthia. Okay.
So no, I go by Cindy.
Thank you for coming on.
You never actually plugged your website. So why don't you plug your website, your Instagram, any other way people can see your work or get in touch with you if they want?
Yeah, we have 2 websites. So my main website is CynthiaJamesPhotography.com. And then our iGuide website technically is JamesPhotographyGroup.com. And that's the logo I wear. And that's what all our polo shirts are. The guys have winter coats and polos and everything with this logo on. So that's our other website. Instagram is Cynthia James Photography, and Facebook is Cindy James. And then we have our Washington, DC Real Estate Photography Design Guild. But it's really for only local people. So you have to be from either Delaware, Pennsylvania, DC, Virginia, or Maryland to join our group. And then we do a dinner once a year in downtown DC. So everybody gets together once a year.
Oh, that's awesome. And is there like is there a dues for that, or it's kind of it's just a group basically?
It's just a group.
No, interesting. Maybe I should.
We should all fly out and become charter members.
Well, it'd be fun. We have a really good time. We have a great group. Come on, I have Nima, I have Mario, I have Jen, I have some of the best people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you guys have a lot of photographers down there. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Well, let me break into this conversation and say we all know that PhotoUp is the leader in real estate photography editing. But did you know that they also offer video editing, virtual staging, property websites, photo delivery, dedicated editors, and more? Having all your real estate marketing under one roof helps streamline your workflow so you can spend more time shooting spaces and less time behind your computer. You get that one? Okay. Visit photoup.net/shooting spaces or click the PhotoUp link in the Shooting Spaces website to receive a $100 discount on your first full month of PhotoUp services. And make sure to mention PhotoUp and Shooting Spaces when you sign up to receive 10 free credits to try out any PhotoUp service. That's photoup.net/shooting spaces. Check them out. There you go.
Thank you, Rich. And thank you, Cindy, for coming on. Always a pleasure chatting. And
thanks, guys. It was fun.
Yeah. And look, if anyone has any questions about shooting 2,500 homes a year, call Cindy.
Let me ask you one thing, Cindy. Do you still like taking pictures? Are you a photographer? Did you say dude?
I do.
Or do you do? Okay, I thought you said dude.
I heard dude. I'm
from
also.
California. Okay, hey, because I'd call you dude too. So, dude, Cynthia, you like taking pics?
Yes,
You're
just
a photographer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
No, I can't.
You see the world? Do you see the world in a frame, in a picture frame? I do. Can't help it.
I do, but sometimes actually I take better pictures with my phone.
I gotta say, I used to rip on phones, and now I'm like, they make pretty good cameras. It's got to be the right situation, but they're really great. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And Rich, what do we have to say? Submit some Ask the Guys questions. We need those. Can always use those. Go to our website, hit the little Ask the Guys widget, ask us a question, and we will try to answer it. Ask us a question about 2,500 homes a year, and we'll have Cindy back on.
Yeah. And the elephant in the room, is our new courses. We have residential real estate photography with Rich Baum and
commercial real estate photography. I feels weird to say with Brian, like to speak in third person with Brian. No, Berkowitz.
You have to get used to it. But it's our new courses, and they're going great. Everybody, the feedback is fantastic. Check out our learning section in shootingspaces.net, and there's some really good information out there. And I think these courses are just going to really help a lot of people, and you're going to enjoy them, and it's going to be a great investment in your future.
Especially the bundle. We've been doing well with the bundle, Rich, and I think it's the perfect thing for someone who wants to get into this industry, because they can learn, all the basics and everything they need to know just to get going with yours. And then once they kind of have their technique and their, a year in their business rolling, they can kind of supplement their business with some commercial stuff. So, look at the bundle. That's definitely a good way to go. And with that, Rich, as always, it's always fun hanging and talking. We're approaching 4 years now, so it's always a good time.
I feel like it's been 10. No, I'm sorry. It's been 4 years. So it's been great. And thank you again, Cynthia, James, for coming on. And I just want to say thank you to everybody before, it's 2022 and I can't believe it, but I want to thank everybody for just hanging out with us. and just go out there, enjoy yourself, and be sure to shoot some spaces.
This has been Shooting Spaces. For more episodes, visit shootingspacespodcast.com and visit our education site at shootingspaces.net.